Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Disorganized Religion Podcast. My name is Matt Horan. I'll be your host today for the next 20 minutes, and I am joined, as always, well, not as always, because one of them wasn't here for a while, but I'm joined by my partners in crime, one of which is the return of the unlicentious licentiate,
Deshaun Jones. I'm ministerial staff at Mount Olive AME.
And I'm Eric Johnson. I'm on staff here at Heritage, Adult Discipleship and Online Content.
Excellent. So it's good to have the whole crowd together today again. Deshaun, I'm curious to know what you were out there doing that was any better than hanging out with us here in the Disorganized Religion Podcast.
Well, while I have missed the DRP so very much, I was in Bryson City for a week with the high school I graduated from. I helped out with their summer camp on staff. I've been working. My work schedule got changed, so I wasn't able to podcast in our normal time. And I was at my denomination's General Conference.
Nice.
Yeah.
You know, I have to confess something. I had not really thought about this yet until you just said it. You said that you missed the DRP. How did I not think of our acronym? That's a pretty cool acronym.
Yeah, I did.
The DRP.
I like it too. Yeah.
I like being on the DRP.
The DRP.
It's getting out of control here. This is too much good. So seriously though, so you were at General Conference.
Yeah.
I guess you were supposed to have it last year, and you didn't.
Correct.
Right? Because of, and we haven't had ours in a while either. But you guys managed to sneak yours in, so well done. What did you guys do? What was the news and weather from General Conference?
The church is still going strong. It was very interesting. We had some, hot topics of debate, about LGBTQI plus inclusivity, women in ministry. But I think, I think it's coming together well.
Nice. As you know, to a quick aside to our both of our listeners, Deshaun is a licentiate. Meaning he has a license to preach, and he is in the candidacy process for ordination in the African Methodist Episcopal Church. I thought I would ask you. I've been questioning a little bit my liturgical fashion choices lately. I wear the robe and the stole on Sunday mornings, our traditional service, and I made that call when I first was, commissioned back in 2007. But, I've been thinking about making a huge switch. I'm thinking about going with the Alb instead.
The Alb.
Yeah.
It's really traditionally Methodist. I like it.
It is. It is. It's a, it kind of has that monkish feel.
Yeah.
And I'm not really going for that so much, but I just feel like it's all held together well. You got the cincture rope thing around your waist that holds your stole in place.
The what?
The cincture.
The rope.
You guys are just.
It's a rope.
It's a rope.
And a dust ruffle. Remember what a dust ruffle is, right? Yeah. Just kidding. We're not getting into that again. But yeah, so you have the rope around your waist, which is called a cincture. You can get the different color one to go with the liturgical season to match your stole. And it kind of holds the stole in place. Like, I've had several times when I'm like checking out our video from Sunday morning and I see that my stole has like migrated. So I have like, it's like 6 inches longer on one end than the other. And it's supposed to be, kind of have some symmetry there. And you have the cincture with the Alb. It's gonna hold it all together for you. And I don't know. I'm thinking about going that direction.
Okay. I don't think you can switch teams like, midway through your career. Like,
is that a thing, really?
When you became ordained, you had to choose at that point whether you're going to be team robe or team Alb. And I don't think that you can switch teams midway through, can you? I mean, isn't the robe like part of your pastoral identity? And like, doesn't it say something? What does the robe versus the Alb say about you as a pastor?
It's a good question. I don't know. I mean, I know it's an older tradition. The robes that I wear are more like scholastic, kind of like academic regalia kind of robes that they began wearing back like when pastors came from Oxford. Right. But before that, they were all Alb all the time, man.
I've even seen some pastors' robes that have the bars on the sleeves,
the chevrons,
like the doctoral.
Yeah, that's if you're a doctor. Thanks for noticing that I'm not one. My dad wanted me to be a doctor, not that kind that we get you get the bands on your sleeve when you're a pastor. He wanted me to be able to fix some medical stuff.
So if you go out, okay. Can you wear sandals? Like, is that can you go like full monk? Does it come with a hood?
I believe the hood is a part of it. You don't put the hood up, but it's back there.
There's a hood back there?
Yeah, because I think that kind of also helps to hold your stole in place. Like, you put the hood up a little bit, put the stole on, then the hood goes back over the stole behind you. And so you have the hood, you have the cincture, holding it all together, and my stole wouldn't migrate. Also, this
isn't really a fashion choice. This is just out of convenience so that you don't have to mess with your stuff anymore. Is that what I mean?
Right. There is zero spiritual consideration of any kind going into this. It's one of those, it'd be cool kind of topics. But I feel like, another thing that's been happening to me is because I wear my shirt and tie underneath the robe because you can see 2 inches of my shirt and my tie. The rest of it, who would even know what I'm wearing under there?
I thought you just wore a dickie. Didn't you just wear a dickie?
I did one time for a skit, but I usually wear an actual shirt. But yeah, I mean, with the Alb, it buttons up all the way across your neck. You can wear t-shirt, bathing suit, sandals. You're ready to hit the beach as soon as you're done. They don't see anything in there. So, I don't know. It's tempting. I guess I could consult, some actual theological issues related. Why you choose one or the other. I think I just chose the one that I've got because I was going through the Cokesbury store, the Christian bookstore, and they had those. And I'm like, oh, there's robes for pastors. I guess I'll get one because I'm going to be one of those pretty soon. So anyway, I don't know. So have you decided which way you're going to go on that?
Well, it's in the world of being an AME, nobody's wearing an alb. I know one preacher who wears an alb in my entire denomination.
That's true. You guys have sharp stuff. Y'all look good.
I think I at least want an alb. I think I do.
You can't.
I do. Why not?
You can just switch back and forth. Like, you can have both of them.
Well, you can't. You can't because you dropped out of seminary. Oh. Those of us who pressed on to the bitter end, we get the reward of wearing this thing that you can't wear anywhere else. It has no other function other than wearing it during one of your services. Not all of them, but one of them you can. So, so we're looking for a little variety in this. And
it's 400 degrees.
400 degrees.
Right.
It's true. If you want to, I will tell you that whatever's underneath the robe that you're wearing, if you're having to stand outside and greet people on the way out, it's soaked. It's in Florida. So, and they're kind of like light material too. Like, you wouldn't think it'd be that bad, but.
Do you have summer version versus a winter version?
No, I probably should. There probably should be different.
Do that dry wick version, like
with the moisture wicking. That's right. This is a performance robe, performance alb.
I'm gonna cut that out because I think that might be a good idea.
Maybe we want to roll with that.
See if Nike or Under Armour can make one.
And we'll get DRP put on there somewhere. And what was I forgot the lightning? What is the lightning word?
Blicksnab.
Blicksnab.
Go Blicksnab.
The DRP. For those of you that missed that first episode, we discovered that the Swedish word for lightning is blicksnab, and we thought that was a pretty fantastic word. So, all right. Well, so thanks for the advice. I guess I do feel that AME clergy do have vestments that are way cooler than mine. So, yeah, you have choices available to you that I don't. I would go with your choices, but if ever you get the alb and you want to come over and do some processing in our sanctuary, I'll be glad to. We could be the Albs. We could be the Chips of Albs, side by side, walking down there, sporting the newest or the oldest liturgical fashions. So. Well, yeah, those are pastor problems that most people don't have, but thanks to you both, our listeners, for sticking with us through that. So I thought that we could talk a little bit about the the controversial side of our work here as church employees, as pastors, believe it or not, there are other controversies other than alb versus robe that the Methodist churches face, both the AME and the UMC. One of them, I got to say, guys, that has kind of bothered me a lot, and so I'm pent up on this one. So maybe I need to take a deep breath. Is the word the word evangelical?
Ooh.
The word evangelical is a critically important word in the history of Christian discourse, right? I mean, there are no Christians if there isn't evangelism. That's how we all got there, right? So, but for whatever reason, well, I can venture some reasons, the word evangelical has been hijacked. It's been made become something it's entirely not. So, curious, having coming off of General Conference, would you say that the AME would fit the category of uppercase evangelical?
Uppercase evangelical? I'd say no. But lowercase e, definitely.
Preach it, man.
All right, so you got to back up and tell me what.
Yeah, Matt. He's the
Between uppercase and lowercase.
Yeah, he's the English major.
Well, thank you for asking that grammar question, Eric. I'd be glad to expound on that for you. With evangelical lowercase being an adjective that describes something, I would say that the AME and the UMC are both in existence because people were evangelical in them. Mm-hmm. We shared the good news, which is what evangelical means. It means good news. And when you look at the way we use it now in our political discourse, when we just use it to describe a group of people and how they vote, the uppercase E, you use the word evangelical today in most places, it seems. People are going to make all these assumptions about you and want nothing to do with you. So I would say, yes, the lowercase evangelical is the adjective to describe a person who shares the gospel. Uppercase evangelical is this whole political wing of the Republican Party that has become known for all kinds of things, very few of which are sharing the good news of salvation in Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
I think we just park it Protestant and just leave it there.
Would you say that Wesleyans are Protestants? We actually come from the Protestant Revolution. We were
true.
The only reason we're not Catholics is because Henry VIII couldn't get a divorce, and so we came from the Anglican Church, which was started because he wanted to get a divorce and the Pope wouldn't do it. So
yeah, but I would say Wesley protested a lot of the rules and regulations of
the Catholic stuff.
Anglican Church.
Oh, the Anglican Church.
Yeah, and so.
Oh, so we're introducing a whole other
old
category of Protestant against the Catholics versus the Protestant against the Anglicans.
Yeah,
that's an interesting way to go. Okay, I can buy that. So I don't know. I mean, what do you guys feel or think when you hear the word evangelical used today?
Well, I mean, working at a church, it doesn't have the same edge to it that I think, just somebody watching the news, would hear that word and think, what they've heard about that voting block of folks. So for me, it doesn't have quite that edge to it. And like you said, part of being a Christian is being evangelical, sharing that good. I mean, that's what we're called to do: make disciples. And part of the Methodist history that I think we've lost is some of that campfire going out to the coal mines and preaching. I mean, that's what got Wesley in trouble in the first place.
Going to jails.
You know, he went out and preached to the people where they were.
Yeah.
And you know, that was one of the main things the hierarchy of the Anglican Church didn't like. You know, so.
Yeah, like today. I mean today. So you have evangelical, lowercase e, adjective. Evangelical, uppercase e, is a noun. It's like are you an evangelical? Not are you evangelical? Are you an evangelical? Meaning, I mean, you could probably list out the politics of an uppercase evangelical. Yeah. They're going to be pro-life. They're going to be opposed to gun control. They're going to be opposed to illegal immigration and want to close the borders. They're going to, and whatever you feel about those things, that's fine. But to hijack this critically important word that is central to the Christian faith and use that as a label for a political wing, for a wing of a political party, I have plenty of people that I know that would vote that way, that are good people, and I have no problem with them. I vote a lot of the same ways that an evangelical uppercase E noun would do as well, but the word is too important to the Christian faith to let it be used like that. But we've I don't know how to get it back now.
Yeah, and how do you even preach a sermon on that topic about evangelism and sharing the good news? I mean, you can't use the E word when you're talking about when you're asking people to share the good news or invite people.
Right.
I mean, you have to dance around that word.
Invite someone.
We're going to be inviting.
Be hospitable.
Hospitable.
Go out and talk to someone.
Right. Share your story. Right?
Yeah. Go do evangelism. What? No.
Right.
Anything with that?
I think even before it was hijacked as a political term, it was starting to get a bad connotation because it was associated with the guy on the street with the bullhorn and the leaflets and the. I remember on my college campus there was a guy that would come like once a week and he would stand on his little soapbox, literally a soapbox, with a bullhorn, and he would yell at students as they were walking by.
It's a very Jonathan Edwards thing.
Yeah.
To do.
We had that guy too. Right. Sinners in the hands of an angry God. You are a spider over the chasm, hanging onto your spider web.
The guy with the claws. John 3:16 sign at the football games. Where's that guy been?
Yeah.
So.
I'm not sure how that guy votes. He had cool rainbow wigs and the 316 shirt. I don't even know what the remedy is for it. It makes me angry, because I mean, like I said, like one of the first expressions that the early church used to talk about Jesus and his yoke of teachings was the good news, right? Like they, and so, like that's what evangelical that's what the evangel is. It's good news, and for us to have lost that word really bugs me. I'm sure I'll get over it eventually, but it bugs me, and I have no idea how to get it back. I've been trying to think about like words over the years that meant one thing and then were claimed by the culture, and you couldn't use it anymore. And some of them, like the word idiot. An idiot was a medical diagnosis 150 years ago. You would probably go to some kind of a psychiatric institution, right? I mean, they would come out of the room and go to the family, "Sorry, he's an idiot." and that was like the doctor coming out saying,
And like we joke about that now. Everyone's an idiot.
Even now that you say that, it's sort of like...
Right. Yeah. So I mean, words do get hijacked. I mean, have you noticed on SportsCenter, they don't say the disabled list anymore. You're on injured reserve, injured list. So even words that like weren't even derogatory, right? We don't use the word handicapped anymore. We have special needs parking. And eventually, how long until the special needs phrase is hijacked to mean something and we'll have to change it again? So I mean, language is always a moving target, it seems, and it never really bothered me before now. I guess now that I've lost a word that's important to me.
Now that's happened to you.
Right. Happens to you idiots over there. I don't really care about you guys.
Now that I'm the idiot.
It's my stuff,
it
right?
means-
Oh, I'm not an idiot. That's the important thing.
All right,
Yeah.
so you asked Deshaun if the AME church was evangelical. I would be interested to hear what you think is the United Methodist Church evangelical.
Oh gosh, that's another whole nother podcast. I can give a quick summary. I would say that currently the United Methodist Church is splitting over that very thing. The capital E evangelicals are about to leave the United Methodist Church. And so right now we have evangelicals, uppercase E, who would vote that way. We have lowercase E evangelicals. I tell people about Jesus. I invite people to come and hear about Jesus. I love people to Christ. It's been a privilege of mine to be there when a person gives their life to Jesus Christ. So I've done evangelism and rejoice in the gift of being a part of it. And I know other Methodists have done the same. Every year, people come to Christ through the Methodist Church. So we have both, and we have there's a deep division in the Methodist Church that is going to, I hope, sift itself out, once this split happens. Hard. Again, that's a whole other podcast topic, probably. But yeah, we're both.
Or has
we're
the
both.
United Methodist Church lost its lowercase evangelical mission because we're spending so much time arguing with the capital E evangelicals?
That's a question.
I would say yes.
So much of our time and energy has been diverted to that. Sometimes the important stuff is getting left behind. So.
Yeah, whenever I've sent an email out, like you can see on, we use this program called MailChimp to send emails out to the congregation. A couple times I've sent emails out about the split in the Methodist Church, the same-sex marriage issue, whatever. Those get opened like 70, 80% of the time. The rest of our emails, 20, 25% of the time, right? Like, for whatever reason, it's a consuming thing that you just can't seem to get away from. That, which is, and for a long time, I was opposed to the split, and I was opposed to any kind of schism. But I'm ready to just
do it and
sift it out and dig it done and get it over with. And I think in the end there'll be some challenges to figure out the logistics of this and that. I think it'll hurt. I think it'll be in the news for all the wrong reasons for a while. But it's in the places in the world where where Christianity is difficult, where it grows the fastest.
Yeah.
And so who knows? I mean, maybe this is going to be the thing that kicks us in the behind a little bit and wakes us up and gets us going on the things that really matter. If hopefully the Lord takes this away from us, right? We can't argue about this anymore. Right?
Yeah.
If people are arguing with you, they're all gone now. So stop arguing about it and do something worthwhile.
Yeah.
And so maybe that'll be the thing that sort of sparks some renewed lowercase evangelism for the Methodist Church, for the United Methodist Church. Good question, though. Yeah, it's something to think about. I feel like we've come up with like a few different future podcast topics. The whole United Methodist Church thing, the whole controversy of alb versus robe, as well as are you even allowed to switch once you've chosen one?
Deep topics that we talked about here.
Yeah. So that's interesting. I gotta think about that. Would robe wearers feel betrayed if they saw me on a live stream wearing the alb?
That you switched to.
That I switched. Yeah. Would they say, well, why is the robe not good enough for Matt anymore? Why? What's wrong with it? Yeah, I could really undermine. Yeah, gosh, that's really something I really need to think about. I'll spend time thinking about that in place of spreading the good news and doing evangelism, which would be kind of recommended. Friends, thanks so much for hanging out with us on the Disorganized Religion podcast. My name is Matt. That's Deshaun and Eric. We're glad that you hung out with us today. Look forward to hanging out with you next time. Take care. God bless. See you later.
See you.
See ya.